Welcome to the TFA podcast. Today, we're going to dive deep into a really fundamental tactical question in football.
Yeah, it's one that coaches have wrestled with forever, isn't it?
Exactly. That enduring debate.
Yeah.
One striker or two. Here at Total Football Analysis, we've been looking through a lot of material on this.
Trying to pull out the key tactical insights for everyone listening.
That's right. And, you can find all our latest in-depth tactical analysis on this and honestly, a massive range of other topics over at totalfootballanalysis.com.
Definitely worth checking out if you want to understand the game like on a much deeper level.
For sure. And hey, because you're listening, we've got a great offer for you. You can get 30% off your TFA subscription. Just use the code TFAPOD at checkout.
Great deal. Okay, so this one striker versus two striker thing.
Yeah.
Where do we start? What really stands out from the analysis we did?
Well, I think, the immediate thing with two strikers, the classic idea is that numerical advantage up front.
Right, trying to overload the defense, create more options, maybe exploit combinations between the two.
Combinations, combined movements, things designed to disrupt defensive structures.
But, and this came through really strongly in our research, it's not just about having two strikers, is it?
No, not at all. The effectiveness, it really, really hinges on how well those two players complement each other.
Their characteristics need to mesh. You can't just, stick any two forwards together.
Exactly. And the analysis highlights a few common pairings. The classic one is probably that physical striker plus a mobile second striker.
Yeah, the big man, little man kind of dynamic.
Sort of. You've got the physical forward. Their job is holding up play, winning aerial duels, laying the ball off.
Acting as that reference point, yeah. Drawing defenders, occupying them.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And then you have the mobile second striker. They need agility. They make the runs into space. They're the ones hopefully getting on the end of those layoffs.
They exploit the chaos the physical striker creates, essentially.
We looked at a great example, didn't we? Lukaku and Lautaro Martinez at Inter under Conte.
Oh, absolutely textbook. Lukaku was that physical reference point, just immense presence, pinning defenders back.
And Lautaro. So quick, so clever with his movement, finding those pockets of space that Lukaku helped open up.
Their complementarity was just fantastic. You saw how it powered them to that Serie A title in 2020-21. It really showed what a well-matched pair can do.
Definitely. But that's not the only way to play with two up front. We also looked at the two mobile strikers combination.
Right. This one's different. Less about a physical focal point, more about constant movement, rotation.
Interchanging positions, trying to pull defenders all over the place, create space perhaps for midfielders breaking forward.
Yeah, it makes it really hard for defenders to tight mark, doesn't it? There's no single player to focus on. It forces the defense deeper sometimes.
We analyzed Atletico Madrid as an example here, thinking about players like Griezmann and, say, Julian Alvarez.
Two really intelligent, mobile players. Griezmann dropping between the lines, his vision, Alvarez with that speed and sharpness.
It creates this really unpredictable attack, constantly shifting, opening up gaps, not just for each other, but for those midfield runs, too.
It's a different kind of headache for the opposition defense.
And then there's a third type we identified, the double center forward approach.
This one feels a bit more, direct, often used against those really stubborn, well-set defenses.
That seems to be the thinking, yeah. When intricate play isn't working, maybe go for physical presence, hold-up play, aerial ability, really attacking crosses from wide areas.
Like trying to overwhelm them physically in the box.
Our analysis pointed to Ibrahimovic and Giroud at AC Milan as a kind of example.
Right. Two physically imposing players. Ibrahimovic may be the main reference. Giroud also strong on hold-up, supporting his partner. Both dangerous in the air.
So even within the two-striker framework, you've got these quite distinct tactical flavors depending on the players and the situation.
Exactly. And it's not just about attack, is it? We also looked at the defensive side.
Which is crucial. Two strikers, they're your first line of pressure in a high press, aren't they?
Absolutely. They can really limit the opponent's build-up play right from the source. But it needs coordination.
Yeah, the analysis stressed that. One presses the ball, the other has to cover the passing lanes. Can't just chase randomly.
Get it right, though, and you can win the ball back much higher up the pitch. The data we looked at suggests teams using this often have higher recoveries, closer to the opponent's goal.
And even if you're sitting in a lower block, those two strikers can be vital outlets for counterattacks, right? Ready to break quickly when you win it back.
For sure. They provide that immediate threat on the transition.
Okay, so that covers the two striker systems pretty well. But obviously, there's been a big shift in modern football.
Yeah, towards the lone striker, often supported by wide attackers or maybe a central attacking midfielder, a number 10 type.
It feels like that second striker role hasn't vanished entirely, but maybe it's been sort of absorbed into midfield.
That's a good way to put it. The carom takes on some of those linking duties, the creative responsibility between midfield and the lone forward.
Gives you maybe more fluidity, better balance, connects the lines, but you have to make sure that lone striker isn't isolated.
Absolutely key. They need continuous support. Which brings us to probably the most common setup now, the lone striker with two wide players.
Right. And the role of that central forward here seems, well, incredibly demanding. They need to be a really complete player.
Oh, definitely. They're the offensive reference point, sure, but they also have to link play, drop deep sometimes, be involved in the build-up.
The traditional out-and-out finisher, the poacher, just waiting in the box, that role feels a bit outdated in this system.
Largely, yes.
Yes.
They need that broader skill set now. And then you've got the wingers. Their role is huge, too.
Hugely dynamic. They need to be skillful dribblers, players who can take on their fullback, create that 1v1 advantage, or even numerical superiority out wide.
And by doing that, they open up space, right? Space for the central forward, space for midfielders making runs.
And we see different types of wingers, too. The analysis highlighted the impact of the inverted winger.
Yeah, playing on the opposite side to their natural foot, so they cut inside.
Which gives them the option to shoot or play through balls, but it also does something else interesting.
It creates space on the outside for the fullback to overlap, right? Adds another layer to the attack.
Exactly. But then you still have the winger playing on their natural foot, more linear, maybe.
Yeah, perhaps more focused on staying wide, delivering crosses, especially useful against low blocks where you want to get the ball into the box for that central striker, maximizing their physicality.
It all links together: the winger movement, the striker's positioning, the midfield runs. It's like an ecosystem.
Very much so. And we even see hybrid solutions sometimes.
Like Mandzukic at Juventus under Allegri. That was a fascinating example we looked at.
It really was. Nominally a left winger, worked incredibly hard defensively, tracking back.
But then, when Juventus attacked,
He'd drift inside, almost becoming a second striker alongside Higuain, providing that extra aerial threat in the box. Amazing versatility.
it shows how players are expected to adapt now. And talking about unconventional roles, we have to mention the false nine.
Ah, yes. The striker who isn't really a striker in the traditional sense, drops deep into midfield.
Messi under Guardiola, the classic example. But Firmino at Liverpool under Klopp was brilliant at it too.
What's the aim there? Create superiority in midfield? Pull center backs out of position?
Both, really. It destabilizes the whole defensive structure, and by dragging defenders deep, it opens up huge spaces behind for the wingers or midfielders to run into.
Creates a real dilemma for defenders. Follow him or hold your position.
Exactly. So again, even with one central striker, there's a lot of variety. And defensively, what's the role here?
Well, the central forward is still often that first defender, applying pressure, trying to guide the play.
And the wingers, they have a big defensive job too, don't they? Especially in a high press.
Huge. Closing down passing lanes, directing play wide where it's easier to press and win the ball back.
And if the team drops into a medium or low block,
Then those wingers often have to drop back, forming maybe a 5-man or 4-man midfield line, providing that crucial lateral coverage. They need to be diligent.
and again, our analysis, looking at the data, suggests this setup is very effective for quick transitions after winning the ball back. Those wingers are already in positions to break forward.
Makes sense. So, okay, we've looked at both systems in quite some detail. Advantages, disadvantages. It feels like a balancing act.
It really does. Two strikers. More presence up front, maybe quicker combinations, exploiting different player types.
But potentially sacrificing numbers in midfield.
Yeah.
Maybe more open to counters, even with a good press.
Whereas the lone striker with wingers,
Yeah.
maybe better overall balance, defense to attack. The striker links play, wingers give you dynamism and space. Good wit defensively too.
But the drawback can be sometimes not enough bodies in the penalty area against really packed defenses. Fewer options right in front of goal.
So the choice, it's not simple, is it? It really depends.
Massively. Depends on the tactical context, the opposition, and maybe most importantly, the players you actually have available.
You've got to build the system around their strengths. That came through loud and clear in our analysis.
Yeah, and maybe that's why we're seeing this trend towards hybrid approaches.
Yeah.
Towards players who are just incredibly versatile.
Players who can do different jobs adapt their role within the game. That seems to be the key now. Forwards dropping deep, wingers coming central.
Yeah.
That flexibility,
Tactical intelligence and adaptability.
absolutely. Okay, before we wrap up, just a quick reminder for everyone listening. If you want to explore these tactical ideas further, head over to totalfootballanalysis.com.
Loads of great content there. And don't forget that discount code.
That's right. TFA Pod, TFAPOD gets you 30% off a TFA subscription at checkout. Definitely worth grabbing.
So yeah, you can really see how this one striker or two striker question, it just opens up so much tactical depth.
It really does. A rich history, loads of modern variations, whether it's that classic partnership or the lone forward with dynamic wingers. Each approach offers, unique ways to attack and defend.
Hopefully this deep dive has given everyone a bit more clarity on these fundamental approaches.
We hope so. For even more, as we said, totalfootballanalysis.com is the place. And remember that code, TFAPOD, for 30% off.
So it makes you think, doesn't it? Which system do you find most compelling and why?
Yeah, it's a landscape that's always shifting, always evolving. We definitely encourage everyone to keep watching, keep thinking, keep exploring right along with us.